Good day, doctor, and my name is Ho Ming Lu in normal metric 2796881. The title of this study is Factor Influencing the Demand for Restaurant Among UN Undergrad Students. Dining is a part of university life due to severe concerns such as due to school regulation, undergrad students unable to cope. Therefore, undergrad students have a high demand for restaurants. With more convenience, uni students are not only choosing on-campus learning services, but more are choosing off-campus learning services. According to the Serhat et al., the issue of university student demand for restaurants is gradually coming into focus as the number of university students increase. According to the Ministry of Higher Education, the total number of undergrad students in Malaysia in 2021 have increased by 21.61% compared to 2010. And according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the number of experiment operated food service increased by a total of 36,920 from 2010 to 2015. The increase in food service has resulted in more restaurant operations available to undergrad students. At UM, the restaurant is the primary choice for undergrad students to satisfy their hunger. However, since the student group are slightly different from other consumer groups, had led some problems. Firstly, the location of the restaurant. Because the location of UN Institute is relatively remote and most undergrad students have not their personal transport, therefore eating out of the campus is too far for the most undergrad students. Second problem is some restaurants have too few menu choices. UM have undergrad students from different regions and races. The different background students have different eating habits, and the restaurant menu selection is too single, which will cause some students unable to choose foods that success their taste. Thirdly, the taste of the foods in restaurant do not meet the needs of the university student. Most of the foods in and around UM is mainly spicy, oily, sweet, and not nutritionally complete. This has led to problems for some students who are mainly eating light and healthy. The last problem is that food in the restaurant is too expensive for undergrad students. Most undergrad students are limited spending power and they basically demand for the cheaper price. Some restaurants that unreasonable food price increase that are not in the line with the price increase. This increase will affect the financing pressure on the undergrad student. This is the research objective of this study. This study provides data to other researchers on the factor influencing Malaysian university student choice of restaurant. Besides, this study also helped examine the factor influencing the demand for restaurant among UM undergrad students. In addition, the significance of this study for the university is that this study can be a response for the university management when planning the on-campus restaurant. It helped the UM management to better meet and improve the certification of university students with the on-campus restaurant. Well, for industry, this study can also be used by on-campus and off-campus restaurant providers to improve the overall quality of their restaurants in terms of the location, menu, taste, and price of food. For this study, the target area is University Utara Malaysia Sintok Kedah (UUM), and the target respondents are all undergrad students of UN under CAS, COB, and COGIS. In addition, the duration of this study is about 3 months. Demand theory was used in this study as the economic theory. Other factors are constant, which is category variables, and the law of the demand indicated that the relationship between price and quantity demand is negative. In addition, other variables have also impacted the demand, known as the change in demand. There are empirical results from the past study related. There are 5 past studies related to the restaurant location. For example, according to Besson et al., the study stated that distance and accessibility of the restaurant is one of the factors influencing the choices of fast food restaurants for most university students. Well, for the menu, they have 3 related studies for the past. For example, according to the mean, developing an interesting, domestic, and creative menu influence customer choice restaurant. There are 4 past studies related to the taste of food and the demand for restaurant. For example, according to our et al., they found that the most critical factor influence restaurant choice was fruit test. For the price of fruit, they have 6 related study in the past. For example, according to Faris et al., who argued that in addition to time pressures, lifestyle, and health consequences, price is also a positive and significant ecosystem with college student fruit choices. Research hypothesis shown as the slide. They have 1 dependent variable and 4 independent variables. For type of study, the quantitative research and structure questionnaire will be used. While for sources of data, the distribution of Google Form to UM's undergrad students is the primary data. Some journal from the library and internet is the secondary data. The unit of analysis in this study is UM undergrad student. The population for this study was 19,757 UM undergrad students. Therefore, to obtain the actual result, a sample size of 377 was required to respect the population of total number of UN undergrad students. The questionnaire for this study have 28 questions and in divide to section A to F. Section A is about demography of respondents. There are 6 questions. Section B to F is measure the variables and use the Likert scale method for measurement and analysis. There is total 22 questions. For this study, question A was given to the respondent using social media platforms such as WhatsApp. Next, frequency distribution analysis, reliability analysis, descriptive analysis, dependent sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, and person-correlated test are the data analysis techniques used in this study. For demographic background, according to the result, the higher respondent is female with 61.60%. The majority were Chinese with 58.90%. Most of them respondents were between the age of 22 to 24 with 53.20%. Regarding the coverage, the majority were from COB with 69.50%. In addition, 32.20% respondents visit the restaurant more than 7 times in a week. 51.70% respondents said that they will spend Rm1 ringgit to Rm10 ringgit per meal. The cost tabulation also used in this study. First is gender and how much do you spend on the food you choose at the restaurant per meal. We can see that the highest number of respondents were between Rm1 to Rm10 with 135 female and 99 male. Second is age and how often do you visit a restaurant in a week. Based on result, the higher visit is more than 7 times a week. The larger number of respondents are 90 to 21 years old with 83 respondents, following by 22 to 24 years old with 61 respondents, and 25 years old and above with 2 respondents. Next, the descriptive analysis for main variables. The all 5 variables has a mean between 3 to 5 were considered moderated. The higher mean is price of food. For restaurant location, the higher mean value is the item of I choose the restaurant because it was located near my home or accommodation. Well, for menu, I like almost every cuisine. Those in the restaurant have the high mean. For taste of fruits, I choose the restaurant because it saw the result fruits had the highest mean. Next, for price of fruit, I choose the restaurant because of the restaurant price, and if the price of fruits in a restaurant increase or decrease, I will increase or decrease the purchase of the restaurant cuisine. Items have the same highest mean. Lastly, for the demand for restaurant among undergrad students, I go to the restaurant at least once a month to buy fruit had the highest mean. In the reliability analysis, according to the result, it is so that the level of reliability of restaurant location, menu, taste of fruit, price of fruits are reliable, and demand for restaurant among undergrad students is quite reliable. The independent sample t-test to address the second objective. For hypothesis A, the results show that p-value is less than 0.05, so that H now A is rejected. Therefore, there is significant difference in undergrad student demand for restaurant among different genders. For hypothesis B, p-value is more than 0.05. H now B is not rejected. Therefore, there is not significant difference in the restaurant location among gender. Hypothesis C, as the result, H now C is rejected because the p-value is less than 0.05. Therefore, there is significant difference in the menu among gender. For hypothesis D, p-value is less than 0.05, so that H now D is rejected, and therefore there is significant difference in the first test among gender. And for hypothesis E, H now E is rejected because the p-value is less than 0.05. Therefore, there is significant difference in the price of fruit among gender. Next, the one-way ANOVA to address the third objective. For hypothesis F, based on the result, p-value is less than 0.05, so that H now F is rejected. Therefore, there is significant difference in undergrad student demand for restaurant among colleges differences. For hypothesis G, based on the result, p-value is less than 0.05, so that H now G is rejected. Therefore, there is significant difference in the restaurant location among colleges differences. For hypothesis H, based on the result, p-value less than 0.05, so that H now H is rejected. Therefore, there is significant difference in the restaurant menu among colleges differences. Hypothesis I show that H now I is rejected because p-value is less than 0.05. There is significant difference in the restaurant test of fruits among colleges differences. And for hypothesis J, H now J is rejected because p-value is less than 0.05. Therefore, there is significant difference in the restaurant price of food among colleges differences. The Pearson correlation analysis to address the fourth objective. For hypothesis K, according to the result, the range correlation coefficient between the variables of this study is 0.089 to 0.344. The strength correlation between demand for the restaurant among undergrad students and restaurant location is very low correlation and not statistically significant. P-value of restaurant location is more than 0.05, so that H now K is not rejected. There is not significant relationship between restaurant location with the demand for the restaurant among undergrad students. The strength of the correlation between demand for the restaurant among undergrad students and menu, taste of fruit and price of fruits is monetary correlation and statistically significant, while the p-value for menu, taste, and fruit and price of fruits is less than 0.05, so that H now K is rejected. There is significant relationship between menu, taste, and price of the fruit with the demand for the restaurant among undergrad students. According to the result of the independent sample t-test, demand for the restaurant among undergrad students menu, taste of fruits, and price of fruits have significant difference among gender, while for restaurant location show that this is not significant difference among gender. To the result of one-way ANOVA, all variables have significant difference among colleges difference. According to the result of Pearson correlation analysis, the strength of the correlation between demand for the restaurant among undergrad students and restaurant location is very low correlation and not statistically significant. P-value of restaurant location is more than 0.05. Therefore, H now K is not rejected. There is not significant relationship between restaurant location with the demand for the restaurant among undergrad students. In addition, strength of the correlation between demand for the restaurant among undergrad students and menu, taste of fruit, and price of food is monetary correlation and statistically significant. While the p-value for these three variables is less than 0.05, so that H now K is rejected. There is significant relationship between menu, taste, and price of the fruit with the demand for the restaurant among undergrad students. The problem of limitation in terms of sample size and times, the data and sample correction may not be large due to the short time frame required to complete this study. This study also limited to the undergrad student and therefore cannot respect to the opinion of university students at other level or other university. Furthermore, some respondents did not answer the question consistently. It recommends that future study can be extended to the all Malaysia university and other degree level university students to increase the sample and data. Furthermore, future study could use face-to-face interview to provide more accurate data.